Podcasting as an advertising distribution is in its infancy. When I started JV Impacts with John Vasquez, we decided to go with a company called Libsyn for our podcast hosting. It is rather expensive. For the amount of content I produce with our current shows, which remember, I only produce 3 shows right now, it's about $55 a month. Well, actually, it is $55 a month. I only get analytics for JV Impacts, and I shouldn't really even say that I get analytics for it. I actually get data for all of the shows, but I pay extra for JV Impacts to get more data. But now that our website is almost up for Age of Radio, I'm going to need analytics to get advertisers. So it's time to decide on some podcast KPIs. And if you don't know what KPI stands for, I think I've mentioned it in the past, but it stands for Key Performance Indicators. Oh yeah, and this is Age of Jeremy, episode 10, Measure Your Success. This episode of Age of Jeremy is brought to you by the new Age of Radio Syndicate podcast, Learning to Curse with Adam and Chuck. Make sure you check it out wherever you get your podcasts.
Learning to Curse is a podcast that goes deep
and hard
on topics such as
ghosty ghosts,
ubernatural,
and the paranormals.
If you like jokes and skeptics,
talking seriously about weird
then Learning to Curse is the podcast for you.
Oh yeah, for you. And you over there.
And you. And your mom.
I'm not Chuck.
I'm not Adam.
Join us every Sunday
for Learning to Curse with Adam
and Chuck.
Where do we start with analytics? Why are analytics important? Well, analytics is the discovery, interpretation, and communication of meaningful patterns and data. What does this have to do with podcasting? Well, data allows you to truly see what's happening with our podcasts or your podcasts. So let's talk about these metrics. I have certain data that I get from Libsyn Hosting, but I not only want to talk about what data that I get from Libsyn Hosting, I also want to talk about the metrics that I want to create to basically show what success measures I'm going to have to say whether a podcast is being successful on the network or what I might need to do to make that podcast more successful on the network. Also, going forward, I'm going to use listeners, downloads, and audience as synonyms. So here are the metrics that are available to me now through Libsyn Podcasting. I get daily, monthly, and yearly downloads. I get how many downloads each episode has, and I get how many downloads per country and state each country and state have of that episode, or downloads of that episode. And then I also get a thing called downloads per agent. And essentially downloads per agent is, it tracks like where the download is coming from, whether it's coming from Apple Core Media, whether it's coming from a Chrome browser, whether it's coming from the Stitcher podcast app, or whether it's going to be coming from TuneIn, whether it comes from Echo, which is the Amazon Echo. So essentially, those are the data points that I get when I pay for extra data with Libsyn Hosting. For the basic packages that they have, they do show you daily, monthly, and yearly downloads and how many downloads each episode has. But it doesn't break it down by the downloads per agent, and it doesn't break it down by how many downloads per country you have. So these provide data points. What we do with this data is essentially what analytics is. What metrics do I want to create with this data? Well, that's what I've been really thinking about. And mainly because it's super important, because based off of these metrics, that's how I'm going to know whether or not I'm being successful. And I think that doing this type of analytics with podcasting, that's what's really missing in the podcasting community. And I believe that this will set Age of Radio apart. But I'm going to be honest, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take some learning on my behalf. This episode of Age of Jeremy is brought to you by the Age of Radio Podcast Awards. The Woj Pod is probing the biggest newsmakers in basketball, from the commissioner to general managers, coaches, and star players, to bring listeners inside the processes, personas, and stories that impact the NBA. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Check out this clip.
Welcome back into another edition of the Woj Pod, and Ramona Shelburne's with me this week from out west. Ramona, how are you?
I guess we're like the only two people in basketball who did not go to the Sloan Conference to hear everybody talk about analytics, but mostly to hear Barack Obama, right?
Yep. I've got a freshman high school basketball championship game Saturday night, so I stayed back this weekend, and yeah, we probably are the only two who aren't there. So let's start here, Ramona, with, given it was a week of All-Star break, of no games for, a week, there's a lot of stuff happening in the league, probably none bigger than what has gone on in Dallas, the Sports Illustrated story that came out a few days ago, and then the aftermath now. We reported last night the league sent out a memo. Essentially the news of it was establishing a hotline for team league employees to call in at any time with workplace issues, including sexual harassment and a variety of other possible workplace issues. But the crux of what went on in Dallas, it was a very well-reported story in SI.
Yep.
And let me ask you this. As a woman in this industry and in this business, did what you read went on there surprise you less than how Dallas handled this? Like the story Mark Cuban,
right,
who we both know is a very smart person, the story he told and his explanation to Tim McMahon about why he kept Earl Snead there, I mean, I had to read it 5 times to try to understand, like, did Mark really believe this? I mean, was how they handled it more shocking than the allegations that women made about their former CEO and then what we know to be true about Snead?
Yeah, sadly, no. Okay.
Yeah.
Sadly, no. I mean, and I say this not because, of anything about Mark Cuban, but just the world we live in, where I think there is a sense, and this is where we're all kind of waking up. Okay, this is what women have sort of known forever, but like guys are like, whoa, are you serious? There's this sense that, you see what happened with Earl and Mark, and this is the part I thought was very telling. He said, and he goes, I don't want to say just we took his word for it, but that's essentially what they did.
They did.
Okay? After the first one, they just took his version of events. He said, we didn't call the cops. We didn't even get the police report. We just took his word for it. And a lot of it comes back to most men or women or whatever it is, you don't want to believe that this stuff really goes on. You don't want to believe it's worse than you think because you know the guy, you like the guy, and you don't want to see the ugliness, and you just don't want to see it, and you don't go looking for it because you know him and you don't know her, and it's so much easier to just believe that it's, she overreacted, or it's not as bad as he says, or whatever the case is. And, it comes back to this fundamental point, which is that is the status quo. Okay. You don't want to see what is not the status quo. You don't want to see something that's going to force you to look at things in a different way or to look at the ugly side of things.
Make sure you stay tuned in for the final podcast clip from our Age of Radio Podcast Awards. It'll be a clip from a show called Men in Blazers. Let's get back to the Age of Jeremy. What metrics do I want to focus on? Well, we really want to focus on month-over-month percentage growth, quarter-over-quarter percentage growth, and year-over-year percentage growth. Or at least we want to use the percentage growth as a way to look at a key performance indicator or key performance indicators. Now, this is going to be broken down by podcast percentage growth at the creator level, the brand level, and at the enterprise level. The enterprise level is going to have combined audience growth for month over month, quarter over quarter, and year over year. What does this mean exactly? Let's take Age of Jeremy. Q4 of last year, we had 588 downloads. Now, currently for Q1 2018, we have 649. If this was the end of the quarter, we would find out what that percentage change is quarter over quarter. You would take 649 minus 588 to find the difference month over month of 61. And then you would take 61 and divide it by quarter four downloads. And the quarter four downloads was 588, which means you would take 61 divided by 588, which gives us 0.1037. To get that into percentage, you're going to times that by 100, and that's going to give you 10.37%. So our listens grew quarter over quarter 10.37%. Since we don't know if these were all unique listens, we technically could say we grew our listeners 10.37%, which is actually what we're going to do for right now. And that's technically pretty good. So this is going to be our first KPI, or key performance indicator measurement. We're going to call it KPI1, which is month over month percentage growth. And that month over month percentage growth, we're going to be focusing on because we don't have a bunch of data yet, because we've only been doing this month over month essentially for about 6 months. So right now it doesn't make sense to look at it quarter over quarter yet or year over year, but we're going to look at month over month right now and make sure that month over month, our podcasts are growing 5%. So that means Age of Jeremy needs to be growing 5% month over month. A JV Impacts needs to be growing 5% month over month. Bones on Sports needs to be growing 5% month over month. And then our new Age of Radio Syndicate podcast, Learning to Curse with Adam and Chuck, needs to be growing at 5% month over month. That's going to be a specific success measure. Now, real quick, since I kind of started talking about this thing called the Age of Radio Syndicate. Age of Radio Syndicate is essentially a non-produced Age of Radio show that has access to our Age of Radio network. So Learning to Curse with Adam and Chuck, they do all the production for it in their studio that they have. And then they are going to put Linus, which is the guy with the little headphones, the blue guy that's on all of our thumbnails. They are going to put Linus up on their thumbnail. And then any new podcasts that we produce or any new network podcasts that come on, we're going to advertise through their podcast. What do they get out of it for being on the network? Well, I'm going to run Facebook marketing campaigns, Google marketing campaigns, Bing marketing campaigns, any other marketing distribution campaigns that we decide to run as we get better at this. And then also they're going to get their podcast on our Facebook feed. They're going to get their podcast on their podcast is going to be advertised through our podcast. And that's essentially how the syndicate works. Now there's other different paid levels of syndication through our Age of Radio Syndicate platform that I'm created, but I really don't want to talk about that now because I'll talk about it in a specific podcast as I get the website ramped up and ready to go, which it's almost there and it looks fantastic. Well, I think it looks fantastic. If you don't think it looks fantastic, drop me a line when it comes out and tell me you think it looks like shit or whatever. It might have an effect on it. It may not. But the more feedback I get, the better that I can make things. So that being said, our KPI 1 is month over month percentage growth, and it needs to be at 5%. Now let's talk our KPI number 2, which is going to look at average downloads per episode. Now, let's look at the Age of Jeremy downloads per episode. Age of Jeremy has had a total of 1,237 downloads. I have had 15 uploads. 15 uploads includes episodes. It includes advertisements for other podcasts. It includes sneak peeks at other podcasts. But I've had a total of 15 uploads at this point in time. So if Age of Jeremy has had a total of 1,237 downloads, and we divide that by 15 uploads, that is an average of 82.46 downloads per upload. We kind of want to do a couple things with this. We want to take this number, so 82.46 downloads, and we want to see how that average is changing every month to make sure that it is progressing. And then we want to set a goal to that. So let's just take the 82.46 downloads per upload. So my goal for all of the podcasts right now is to get them to 100, an average download per upload of 100. So every time a podcast on our network, whether it's produced by us or on the syndicate, my goal is to make sure that every time they have an upload on their RSS feed, it gets at least 100 downloads right away. That's mainly what I'm looking at. Over over the average period. Obviously, this is going to grow as we grow, but for right now, I think 100's a pretty good place. So if we look at Age of Jeremy has only had 82.46 downloads, which means that it's only 82% to goal. So 82.46 divided by 100, 82%. So it's at 82% to goal for the year. By the end of the year or the quarter or the month, I haven't decided what the actual time frame is going to be. It needs to be at 100% of that goal. So what does this mean? This means that I have to make action items. If I was on a specific podcast team, which I'm the only one on the team, I need to come up with a better marketing plan for it. I need to get it marketed on other podcasts, and I need to come up with a way to grow this audience for this specific podcast. And if I were on the Bones on Sports podcast team, when we actually hire them, they would be doing the same thing for the Bones on Sports podcast team, and so on and so on. But now what I kind of want to think of is, let's look at how this is for each month. So in February, if I were to find the average downloads per upload, I would be sitting at 90. If I look at January for the average downloads per upload, average downloads per upload, it would be at 94.5. So given this podcast has not hit the RSS feed yet, so it's not counting any of the downloads in this, but let's say we stopped at February, and February did end with an average of 90 downloads per upload. We would actually be trending down, and we want this to be trending up. So what that's called is a moving average. So you kind of see this in the stock world. You'll have a 200-day moving average. Well, I just want to have a month-over-month moving average. I want those average downloads per upload every month, if you look at what that average is, to be trending upwards over time. And then what we can do with that is there's some other things we can do with KPIs after that, but that's really what I want to look at specifically, because that's really going to tell you if it's trending upward based off of the amount of content that you're pushing out through the RSS feed. So KPI 2 is average downloads per month. That's going to be a percentage to goal and average downloads per month, monthly moving average. And again, I know this is a little hard to take in through a podcast, but it's kind of giving you an idea of what you can do as a business owner to look at ways that you could look at success measures. So you don't necessarily have to think of this as audience or listens or downloads. You can do these types of calculations based off of customers. You just have to kind of look at how you're going to measure them, and then look at what measurements would make the most sense to show true success for your company. Now, I believe a company should only set 3 goals as far as these metrics go per department. One of the biggest failures for the bank that I work at is that we tried to measure too much stuff. You really need to hone in on specifics and become masters of those things. When you go after too much stuff or too many measurements and you're all over the place, you're never really going to be successful, or you're going to be kind of mediocre at all of these things. And I don't want any other podcast company to grow their audience better than we do. Companies will seek out our insight on how to grow their audience. That's my goal. Now, before we get to key performance indicator 3, let's have a word from our sponsor. This episode of Age of Radio is brought to you by the February Age of Radio Podcast Awards. Make sure you vote at Age of Radio on Facebook or at Age of Radiohead's public Facebook group. The 4th podcast in the awards this month is a podcast called Men in Blazers. Hosts Michael Davies and Roger Bennett believe soccer is the American sport of the future, as it has been since 1972. Find these Men in Blazers on NBC Sports Network and NBCSports.com. Their aim is nothing less than to enlighten the masses to the wildly entertaining world of soccer and the English Premier League in particular. Make sure you check it out wherever you get your podcast. Check out this clip.
Rebecca Lowe, or Rebecca Lua, if you listen to Suboptimal Radio, and you are listening to Men in Blazers on the NBC Sports Network.
It's unbelievable!
From the Embassy Row studios in the crap part of Soho, we're together again, Rog. It's the Men in Blazers podcast.
Hola, Davo.
Hola, Rogelio.
It's tingling, mate. I'm global. I'm international right now.
Really? Why?
Winter Olympics, mate.
Oh, you love the Winter Olympics.
Oh, all in on that ice skating.
I know. You've been wearing your cardigan since about June.
Chilly.
Yeah.
Chile and South Korea. I got vicarious Chile empathy.
Can I tell you something? I did.
Please.
I bought a cardigan this weekend. I'm going to wear it next week. It's a very different cardigan. I would describe it as sporty.
The mine. How would you describe mine? If you're going sporty, what are you saying about mine?
Fuddy-duddy.
It's cuddly. It's cuddly.
Old man chic.
If you can't get cuddles, people, wear a cardi. It's like cuddling yourself. Can I just say off the top?
Yeah.
Adam Rippon, you're a great American. I watch the ice skating. I'll be honest, I watch it, talking about cardigans, I watch the ice skating mostly for the outfits. And I do think, and if you haven't seen it, then Google it, the United States men's national team need to start wearing Adam Rippon's bodysuit for the Gold Cup.
Tight.
Yeah, tight. But sequins, Josie and sequins.
Yeah.
It's exactly what we need to do to re-endear the US men's soccer team in our nation's hearts, because people love the ice skates.
Re-endear. Did you just invent a verb?
No.
Isn't that not reindeer?
It's from the 18th. It's a reindeer. Men,
That's the original origin.
Go out there and reindeer yourselves. Oh, by the way, have you watched the biathlon?
No, but I was talking
Mesmerising.
with my mate Joe last night about the biathlon. It is the
Joe saying?
ultimate. It's the ultimate man event. You
think
ski
so?
cross country and then you shoot things with a gun and then you race again. There is no more man event
You think?
than the biathlon.
I can think of one.
What?
Well, first of all, what I don't understand about the biathlon is under whose jurisdiction was it decided that those two sports could be crushed together? You know, long distance skiing and, say, shooting. How did they decide those two just unilaterally combine into one sport?
Because I'm sure in the wilds of Norway,
Yeah.
up in the mountains that frame the fjords,
Yes.
Rog,
The
I'm
subject
sure,
of our other podcast,
Yeah.
Nordic Life Today.
I'm sure what life is like
Yeah.
up there is you got to cross-country ski, you got to shoot a moose, and you got to race back down with it.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine is the origin of that sport.
See, I've got to say, if a more manly sport to me, to be candid, this is just me. This is,
Yeah.
I want to be clear, this is subjective, not objective.
Yeah.
Subjective, not objective. If you like shoved stamina television football watching,
Yeah.
yeah, right, bear with me, and eating chicken wings, for instance, together into an Olympic sport, Roger Bennett, gold medal, living my best life.
I mean, the origin of a lot of these sports is pretty crazy. Of course, the biathlon's origin is in hunting. Like a lot of sports' origin is in hunting. Rog, you've got like the modern pentathlon in anything that ends with athlon.
Yeah,
usually
Cossacks
has its,
used to do it. Is what you're telling me?
Usually has its origins in hunting.
Cossack-athlon.
But the origin of figure
When
skating
you say hunting,
a
it
little
chills
odd.
my heart. I've got to be honest. I'm thinking Cossacks. But
Voting will be open until March 10th. Make sure you vote for the February Age of Radio Podcast Awards. Let's get back to the Age of Jeremy. The third metric is one that I essentially made up. It is called listens per impression. This measures a couple of things for me. Listens per impression is the amount of times someone has to see an Age of Radio advertisement and then decide to listen to one of the podcasts. We essentially want this number to go up, and it can go up in two ways. The denominator can decrease, or the listens, which is the numerator, can increase. This metric can show us how impactful our advertisements are at enticing our target customers to decide to listen to one of our podcasts. Now, I don't want to use the click rate that Facebook uses because the impressions hopefully will be stuck in someone's head and they will look up the podcast feed whenever they have a chance. So essentially, when I see a podcast advertisement, I don't click on it. I go to my podcast app that I use, which is usually Stitcher, and I listen to it there. The other reason why I think that this happens is because we essentially here at Age of Radio gain more subscribers when we are running ads, even though we have a low click-through rate on Facebook. Now, currently for February, for the Age of Jeremy podcast, which you're listening to right now, in case you forgot, we are sitting at a low 828 impressions. Essentially, this is so low because I didn't really run that many Age of Jeremy ads in February. Anyway, listens for February, or our audience or downloads for the Age of Jeremy podcast for February, was 292. So if we take 292 and divide it by 828, that gives us 0.35 or 35%. What does this mean? Well, it means we only get 35% of one listen for each impression that we have. We want this to get as close to 1 as possible. It'll probably never reach 1 because impressions is going to be really high, but we want it to trend upward over time. So this means we have to do a couple of things. We have to improve our advertising or improve our shows. But here at Age of Radio, we want to be the best at these things. So we're going to focus on both of those, and we'll continue to climb towards that one, not only number one in podcasts, but number one for our listens per impression. All right. So we're in a really good place for our measurements. And this is really important because, for instance, today, the day that you're listening to this podcast, I have a meeting with Jimmy Bones, the host of Bones on Sports, and we're going to kind of go over a strategy on how to increase the audience for Bones on Sports, which means that we need to look at how we're going to advertise Bones on Sports, and then also how enjoyable or what we're going to improve on within the show to get more people to listen and share it with their friends and grow the subscriber base. Now, we have 4 KPIs essentially. Now, again, I said we're going to focus on 3, but 2 and 3 are kind of based off of the same metric. So to recap, Age of Radio is going to focus on month-over-month growth of downloads, and we're going to set that goal at 5%. And then our second and third metrics are going to be based off of average download per episode and average download per upload. And we're going to set that goal at 100 downloads on average per episode and 100 downloads on average per upload. And we're also going to track our monthly moving average to make sure that it's trending upward. And what will happen is if this dips or if it skyrockets, that means we just hit a market high, or maybe our market's going lower and people aren't going to subscribe to the podcast as much, or we need to figure out what we need to do with our shows to get people more enticed with them. So that's why this metric is so important. Also, the last metric, or the fourth metric, is listens per impression. We want to make sure that it continues to trend upward for now. Once we collect more data, we'll be able to find a way on what a good measurement might be, because it might be, 50% or 80% of one. So that's something that we need to think about as we collect more data and as we grow our subscribers and as we add more advertisements to our impression metric that we're focusing on for our marketing campaigns. Well, it's that time of the show. So let's do this. If you listen to this in the morning, have a good afternoon. If you listen to this in the afternoon, have a good evening. And if you listen to this in the evening, have a good night. Check you later. If you can't get enough of Age of Radio podcasts, make sure you check out our new Age of Radio Apple Podcasts network page, where you can find all of our shows. That includes JV Impacts, Age of Jeremy, Bones on Sports, and the all-new Learning to Curse. This episode was recorded in my dining room. Yes, she is a table. It was recorded, mixed, and mastered using Steinberg's Cubase. Both of our songs are from Epitaph Records. The opening song was Charisma by Pianos Become the Teeth off their 2018 album Wait for Love. Our ending song was I'm Bad at Life off of Falling in Reverse's 2017 album Coming Home. Age of Jeremy uses blue microphones, and we love Easter eggs here at Age of Radio. Be on the lookout or on the ear out or something. Check you later.
Learning to curse.
Welcome to the classroom, motherfuckers. This is Learning to Curse with Adam and Chuck.
And we're back.
Episode 666 million.
Of 2. I mean, no, it's backwards as fuck. This is episode 2.
Of 666 million. Yeah.
And some change.
And some change. No change, 666 million.
He's Chuck.
And he's Adam.
And this is Learning to Curse.
With Adam and Chuck.
And Chuck and Adam.
Yeah, and Adam and Chuck.
Chuck and Adam.
Those guys.
Those shit at people.
The fucking bearded...
Bearded peppers. Well, so we've established that the running gag will now be, we're going to retcon this shit, the bearded pepper is your penis on drugs when it's diseased.
Today's episode is brought to you by a cold beverage known as Coors Light.
Not willingly, just because we happen to have them.
Oh, they're not sponsoring this shit.
Yeah.
If they find out, they might sue us, but hey.
Oh, listen to that.
We're drinking beverages.
Oh, you can't hear it. Oh, it's in stereo. That's cool. Yes. Coors Light.
I'm sure.
It's a cowboy drink.
Again, for those of you who love mouth sounds on an audio medium, that was delicious.
I love our fans, all 2 of them right now at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a
My
kiss.
wife likes us. Oh,
just a nasty little
My wife
kiss.
thinks we're very inappropriate.
Yeah.
I'm sure. So today we're going to be talking about the Phoenix Lights, something that we alluded to last episode,
which happened last March 13th of 1997.
Yes, I was believe around 13 years old. Let me do
17.
the math. So
You're 14.
14.
14. I think.
Yeah.
I think you're 83.
83.
Yeah. I was 17. I know that.
Yeah,
It was a
14.
good year.
I was 14.
It was like towards the end of good music.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
No, there's been some.
There's been some good stuff since.
Yeah, we're musicians. We haven't been musicians that long. And we actually have been musicians that long.
All of our own stuff. And I'm talking about like music, popular music. I mean,
Yeah.
that was like one of the last years I could listen to the radio.
Yeah. So the Phoenix Lights is our topic of discussion for most of this episode today.
And we're going to get into it.
So the Phoenix Lights were a mass UFO sighting, which we just discussed. It was in Phoenix, Arizona, where it was seen, in Sonora, Mexico, at some point on March 13th, 1997.
It was a Thursday.
It was a Thursday. I remember it. Well, actually, I do have an anecdote about this particular situation. I was 14-year-old me on the phone with my friend, a good friend of mine, who we were just talking about, whatever, because, teenagers and their phones. And we had back in the way back, before cell phones were invented and widely distributed amongst the youth of America.
Called you on the landline.
We had landlines, and we had these really futuristic, awesome landlines that were cordless phones. Oh my God, cordless phones!
You could go outside your
You could go
house.
outside. So I had in my back patio area was like chain link fence around because we had a dog. So what I would do is I would take the antenna of the cordless phone and like hold it up against the chain link fence because it acted as an antenna and provided me with better reception. Because my 14-year-old self was slightly genius. And so I'm talking to my friend,
blossoming genius.
and all of a sudden, I how do I describe it? Because it was kind of silent, but the normal sounds of the city were kind of gone. It was like in a vacuum chamber where like all sound was kind of gone for
Everybody
for a
parked their
bit.
car and looked.
Well, it's not even that because so I hear this silence, if that makes sense to you, and I look up and I'm like, Jeremy, I'm gonna have to let you go because I'm completely immersed in what's going on above me right now and cannot continue this conversation. So I just abruptly got off the phone and was just staring up because right above me was this V-shaped thing. It had a bunch of lights on it, and there was this tree in my backyard, and I'm looking up, and I could see above the tree, this V-shaped thing and these lights, and it was just there, like not moving at all, like just there for a few seconds, and then it was inexplicably gone. Once it was gone, I could hear the traffic of the area. I could hear, because I lived on a busy street. Although, the cars going by and the traffic and everything. But, like, this was literally right above my house in Maryvale. Like, right there. Just looking up, there's this thing that you wouldn't expect to have been there. And it's there. And so that's my experience of the Phoenix Lights. At that point of time in my life, I didn't know that the Phoenix Lights was a thing, right? Like, I didn't pay attention to the news because...
I mean, we all knew about UFOs, but I mean...
Yeah, but the whole Phoenix Lights phenomenon thing was not on my radar until years later. Like, years and years later. And this is a cool thing, too, because there's another person who saw this particular situation, and years
separate
later...
from you.
Separate from me. Completely separate from me. I mean, like... more than 666 degrees of separation.
Wow.
Like, I've never met this individual in my life. I've seen him in many movies, but I have not met him. But somebody else saw this thing and reported it.
And this may give it a little credibility.
And then, like, years later, again, like, didn't think anything of it for years until it was a thing. And I'm like, I was there. I saw that. I saw this thing happen. And it wasn't, I don't think it was until after I was married. Like, I met my wife and we were talking about UFOs and stuff, and she's like, you remember the Phoenix Lights? And I was like, what are you talking about? And then she showed me these things, and I'm like, holy fuck, I saw that.
Yeah.
Like,
back
that
then.
was way back then. I was a witness to that, like, directly. So that was really cool.
Along with thousands of other people, apparently.
Right. And now to say that it was aliens, no, I'm not going to do that, because again, we don't know. I have no idea what it was. I will be honest with you, it certainly wasn't flares.
Yes, which
these
is funny you should say that.
That's just, in my opinion, ridiculous. Like, there's no way that it was flares. So
my take on it was almost completely opposite, because at that time, that was on the heels of, that was right before we met.
Yeah, that was right before we met.
So I had the opposite end. I ended up hearing from...
Excuse me.
It's that cowboy
wrong
beer.
Tube.
Coors Light will get you in the wrong tube.
Well, and that happens if you inhale while you're trying to take a sip.
Chuck is still alive, I assure you.
Oh, yeah.
So I had almost a completely opposite different story. I mean, I had almost a completely opposite scenario than Chuck did, because I didn't see it initially the night of March 13th, but everybody was telling me, oh shit, you gotta, dude, there's lights in the sky, blah, blah, blah. The people were calling me, telling me about it.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, oh shit, at that time I really believed in this shit hardcore. I had a fucking hard-on for aliens.
I honestly,
not literally aliens, but UFO
even
topic.
at that time, because there had been other little UFOs and stuff that I'd seen. This is just like, I actually saw this fucking one.
Yeah.
Right fucking there.
So you saw 1V in your life, and years later, I saw 1V as well.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going to get to that. So I didn't see
was that the night you lost your virginity?
Yes, a V. No, it was hers, and she was a V. No, but
little Adam's growing up.
Oh, memories for the spank bank.
Oh. Yeah, by V, we mean vagina.
Yes, vaginus.
The vaginas.
Vaginas?
Don't you get those in prison?
No, a vaginus is a secondary vagina.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's like that the Garfunkel and Oates song, Loophole?
Yeah. I think vaginus came from, I never watched the show, but I think Fox Mulder, David Duchovny, his other show, he said something like that. That's what Brian was telling me anyway. Californication, yeah. So that's kind of funny. It's relevant.
Yeah. Or Red Shoe Diaries.
Yeah.
There you go. That far back. We're old, people. We're old.
I was born in 1980.
Yeah, I was born in 1983.
So there you go.
Yeah.
But so I heard from other people. People were telling me about this. Then it ended up being all over the news. This is why I think it's funny that Chuck didn't hear about it. But it was all over the fucking news. And Fife Symington was getting involved.
I didn't watch the news much back then. I was more into skateboarding and smoking pot.
There you go. Well, me too.
Yeah. I went literally, like, honestly, when I was 13, 14 years old. It wasn't until I was about 15 or 16 years old when I actually started paying attention to the news and stuff. But when I was that age, I looked at the news as that's something that my parents did, and it was boring as fuck.
Hey, and guess what? Most of it wasn't true anyways.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. No, at least not like Fox News.
Right, yeah. No.
Skewed news. Fair.
Skewed news.
Unfair and highly unbalanced.
Fake news.
But so I didn't see it initially, but then later on, I forget when, and I can look this up and mention this on our Facebook page later. But
you better. I'm gonna hold you to it.
Hold me accountable.
Will do.
Mm-hmm. All of them. Wait.
What?
So I think Luke Air Force Base initially said they had nothing to do with it. They had no idea.
Right, they did.
Right?
I mean, I've read some articles and shit after the fact, looking into it. But yeah.
But then retcon that shit and said, oh, it was flares. Oh, yeah. Wait, it was us.
They said that they were doing some military, what is it? What was it
artillery
called?
shit back there behind Estrella Mountains?
Some military operation called Operation Snowbird.
There you go.
That's what it was called.
And it was behind Estrella Mountain.
It was a training operation.
They legitimately have a range back there.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we where I live is like literally like 3 miles from Litchfield Air Force Base and 3 miles from the edge of the Estrella Mountains.
Now, yeah.
So where I live now. Not back then.
In Maryville, we weren't too far from all that either. No. I mean, you could see things happening around Estrella Mountain and South Mountain.
Right.
So, but anyway, so shortly after, they said, oh yeah, no, it was us. We were doing training exercises and it was flares. So
yeah,
they
flares things is so much bullshit.
Well, they said they were going to reproduce it,
and they didn't.
They tried reproducing it.
No, they
but
tried. But
what they did looked nothing like the footage.
That's why I'm saying they didn't.
Nothing like the footage at all.
They attempted to cover it up or say something else about it, but like their explanation it would have been better for them just to say that they were testing new planes.
Exactly.
And the lights that we saw were so uniform because of that training operation that they were going through to see if they could all be coordinated.
But we finally made the V.
You cannot
at Area
shoot
51.
off flares and have them coordinated to the fact or to the extent that those lights were coordinated.
Exactly.
It's just, and that's, I mean, again, as a skeptic, I'm applying that skepticism to this particular situation because that's a bullshit answer.
Definitely.
You can't looking at there's video footage of both flares that they say that it could have been and video footage of what happened on March 13th, 1997 during the Phoenix Lights event.
And this is just our opinion, but it looks nothing alike from what they tried to do as a reproduction.
Right. I mean, that's a very strong opinion. I think, honestly, if you were to compare them, and listeners, please do yourselves a favor and compare them. I mean, if you're listening to this podcast and you know anything about the Phoenix Lights, I'm sure you've already compared the footage of, the flares and the lights. It's like there's just diametrically opposed things. It's
the TR-3 Black Manta. It was a hypothetical. It was a ship that they supposedly created at Area 51.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to mention earlier. But the government claims they never made it. But it would have made more sense, like to add to what you're saying earlier, to say it was the Black Manta.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
then this flares, and it doesn't look like the flares.
Flares story that honestly, when you a goddamn mentally disabled monkey can tell that they're different. Why do you think that the public is that dumb?
Exactly.
Like,
no, but two things on this though. Well, three things. One, there's the famous footage that they always show,
right,
where it's pretty much staying still and the lights are blinking out and disappearing. Then there's tons of eyewitness testimony of the ship flying, which is what you saw.
Yeah.
And they go into it.
I saw that fucker hover for a bit,
and then move.
And then it was gone.
Right?
No, I didn't see it move. It was so fucking fast that it was just gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it just like jetted ahead to the next thing.
Yeah.
Which kind of goes along with what they're saying on Wikipedia here and also a lot of other sites about the travel of this thing. It was booking from up north.
It was like, from what I read, it was like if for it to have gone from, what was it, where at in northern Arizona, Prescott?
I believe it started in Prescott.
And then to show up where it was in Phoenix,
Or started near the Nevada line. That's what Wikipedia's saying.
And from the reports in Arizona showing up, the first reports was like 8:15 on March 13th.
Yes.
And that was, I think, in Prescott. And then the earliest reports of it showing up in Phoenix.
Shortly after.
If it being the same, lights, that thing would have been traveling over 400 miles an hour.
Which is easy if you compare it to other UFO footage, and the most credible being now the Pentagon, the footage that they released.
Which, discussing that, I mean, we can get back to some Phoenix Lights stuff here in a minute.
Yeah.
But let's go into some of this this Pentagon disclosure stuff. If you have any information that you want to add there, drop down some knowledge.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let's drop in a little nugget here. So there is a video.
Yes.
Of
I mean, okay.
What is
for
it, a
one,
pilot,
there are plenty of videos out there of UFOs doing impossible things by our standards.
I mean, the Foo Fighters got their name.
Yeah.
From the Foo Fighters in World War II.
So, I mean...
You're a good band, by the way.
But now... Yeah, exactly. I love that band. I love Nirvana. But to add to that, it's a good thing you brought that up. Because the maneuvers in a lot of these videos... And there's tons of videos out there. Now, they may be Photoshopped. They may be fake. There may be other explanations. But the consensus is that these UFOs, whether alien or not, are doing things that... So far as we know, the government and all the other governments in the world don't have the technology to do. The G-forces alone would just humans can't take that.
Right. I mean,
humans can't handle that.
Speaking of G-force, what we can stand. Have you heard of the assisted suicide roller coaster?
No.
The death roller
coaster. So this thing kills you.
Yeah. So
you can go out with a bang. Yeah.
I mean, it's hypothetical. It's a theoretical
design.
And it was created by, I can't remember his German name.
That's funny.
Or Sweden, I don't know. Some foreigner.
Don't blame the Germans.
Some foreign bastard.
They just fire up shoving.
Came up with this idea of this roller coaster, right? So it goes, I think the tallest roller coaster is it's 158 meters high. And this one is proposed to go 500 meters high, right? At the very peak of its ascent. And then it goes, and then it's right at the end of its descent, it goes into these concentric circles, right?
Wow.
So that it maintains 10 Gs.
Oh, shit.
A force of 10 Gs all the way through these concentric circles. So by the time you get to the end, that much G-force on your body will kill you.
Why can't that just be the death penalty?
Right. Well, the roller coaster is designed for like a euthanasia type situation, so that people can go out having fun and in a euphoric state. Literally.
I hate roller coasters, so that would definitely not be my way of going out.
I love roller coasters. So
I told my wife, I just want this. I have this idea of when we're not too old, we have a well-lived life. We're just riding down along the countryside in a car. Everything's peaceful. We're together, so one doesn't have to mourn for the other. And then
all of a sudden, she pulls out a shotgun and you pull out a pistol.
No,
you hit a bump and like Pulp Fiction style, you shoot each other's brains out.
No. But that's kind of good too. But just a car, just a semi, just
gone. What if you don't die from that?
Huh?
What if you don't die?
I can't die. It's like the song "One" by Metallica.
Yeah. Or what if you're driving along and all of a sudden, like the ground opens up and swallows you into hell?
Wow, that just brings a whole other. I'm not prepared for that because I don't believe in hell.
Yeah.
I don't have 100% proof that there is no hell, but I'm leaning pretty hardcore.
At that point, if the ground opens up and there's hell down there, you'd have a belief in it.
Yes.
Yeah, same here.
I'm going into the lava space.
The magma. It's not lava until it reaches Earth's surface.
But if the Earth opens up and air hits it and it's kind of there, it would already be.
Would that be?
Yeah.
Listeners, let us know. Tweet at us. Is that
just like our blue blood reaching the air?
Is it still magma or is it still lava? Or at that point, would it be lava? The inquiring minds need to know.
Chuck it at them.
Yeah, we're inquiring.
Yeah.
We have minds. Fuck off.
And we're going to acquire this knowledge from you.
Exactly. We're going to acquire the knowledge from you, the listeners, who are much more versed in these geological issues than we are.
So learn us a lesson. And then we'll learn you some curses.
I don't know much about geography.
I know a lot about sex. Fucking in the butt.
Fucking in the butt.
It's been a hot minute since we cursed.
Yeah, right. We had to break. We had to teach you a new curse. Fucking in the butt. Like,
I think most people know that.
You know that one? Remember that one time? Years ago when we were recording an album and we were sitting outside just coming up with different words or different euphemisms for ass fucking.
Yes.
Like duper and the pooper and all sorts of like stupid sayings. Oh, how many hours did we spend just
doer in the manure?
Yeah. Oh my god. And then at one point I
Checking the oil.
I think at one point I just randomly said fucking her in the ass. It was like everybody else is coming up with these quote unquote clever rhymes about anal sex, and I'm just like very straightforward with it.
What if you're fucking her in the ass? It means something else altogether.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that for something else.
Yeah. What that means is that I'm robbing her donkey.
Raw dogging on
her ass got fucked.
Raw dogging on the gopher hole.
Oh my god. I think that's the name of our next album.
Raw dogging.
Raw dogging on the gopher hole.
Or ellipses.
Ooh.
Ellipses.
What about my lips?
I don't know. I can't say it right now because I'm sick.
My ass lips?
I gotta get over being sick because I kind of sound like Alex Jones right now. And I don't like that guy.
No, you're not angry enough.
But he drinks, doesn't he? He doesn't drink.
I don't know what he does. I don't watch Alex Jones.
He seems like a righty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about hand usage. I'm not talking about the stroking hand. I'm talking about.
See, I'm right-handed, but I masturbate with my left.
I'm left-handed.
I think that's because I hold my material with my right.
If you're not holding your material, then you're like mentally masturbating yourself.
Yeah. That just takes longer. It's harder to maintain an erection when you're using your imagination.
When the powers of my mind, I shall. Oh, man. Mind over matter. I don't mind if it doesn't matter.
Right. I've been married for nearly 2 decades, so...
You jerk off in the shower a lot.
I have to masturbate sometimes, because...
Not tonight? All right.
Fine. Fine. I'll find relief elsewhere.
Don't roll over. You'll get it on your back.
No. I've gotten it on my back before.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that was you.
Yeah. Oh, the joys of being a contortionist.
Oh, shit.
I'm not a contortionist.
No.
I could barely reach my toes.
The secondhand joys of watching the contortionist.
The day I can reach my toes will be the days that my feet are severed.
And that your mouth is full.
Oh my god.
Okay, so second.
What were we talking about?
The Phoenix Lights.
Phoenix Lights.
So
Phoenix Heavies.
So basically, I heard about it from other people.
Yeah.
I did not see the initial
the Alex
event.
Jones thing?
No,
we're done with
lights.
that?
Yeah,
We're
fuck
done
him.
with that.
Fuck him.
Fuck that guy.
God, yeah, just get rid of that guy. I mean, I'm telling God, a fictitious God, to get rid of him. Yeah. I'm telling Alex Jones's God to get rid of him.
Yes.
Okay, so I did not see the event myself. I heard about it from other people next day. Heard about it on the news.
Secondhand news.
But I'm like, fuck, all these people know about this shit, and I fucking, you know, the first thing I thought.
Secondhand news.
Secondhand news. Let's do it.
I don't know.
No? Okay. The moment has passed.
It's passed. It's done.
Yeah.
We're done.
I was going to harmonize. I wasn't doing harmonizings. But, so I heard about it from a lot of people, and it ended up being all over the fucking news. Fife Simonton made a big old fucking thing about it, like, it's fake. And we'll talk about that more later, but he he acted like he didn't believe in it. And later on, apparently, he did believe in it.
You know that Fife Simonton's sister's name is Flute?
Flute?
Yeah, it's Flute and Fife. I'm just kidding. I just made that up.
Okay. Was she a flautist?
Yeah.
Flautist.
Yeah. His younger brother's name was Recorder.
He's a flounderer.
I'm just making up like names that are based off of like reed instruments or woodwind.
Saxophone.
Is a flute and a
Everybody likes a little sax.
Yeah. Sax on the beach.
Sax on the beach. So, I mean, he had this whole spiel where he had a fucking person dressed up. We caught the perpetrator.
Yeah.
And this guy comes out in an alien costume.
The guy dressed as
fucking ridiculous. So, anyways, I didn't see
He apologized for that later.
Yeah, he did, because he ended up believing in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't see the initial event. A lot of other people I know did. I heard it all over the news. It was what, like, I mean, we'll probably come across that here in a little bit, but there was like thousands of people, if not 100,000 people, saw this shit.
Yeah.
Saw this thing happen.
One of the largest
sightings. Mass sightings.
Yeah.
And this not just the footage that they keep showing of the V descending,
that day,
you know.
People reporting it.
seeing it flying around and all this shit.
Yeah.
So years and years later, well, I say it like it's years and years later. So this happened in 97. In the early 2000s, after seeing plenty of other fucking UFOs, which I'll talk about in other episodes, I myself saw a V.
Ooh.
A 5.
Oh, that's that time you lost your virginity.
Yes, exactly. It was all lit up in the sky.
Yeah.
So it was a V traveling north. And I was like, and I'm so used to seeing...
northbound V on a southbound road.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like a
Ran
dirty...
into your cock.
By Danielle Steele. Oh, man. V is for... don't you want to know?
Vaginosis. That's not a good thing.
No. A vegan veg.
Oh, God.
So... venereal.
I like a meaty veg. So
a meaty.
A meaty.
Yes,
yeah.
the meat. Bring on the meat curtains.
What was it? Yeah,
let the drapes fall.
The coont flaps.
Does the carpet match the fucking? Does the curtain match the carpet?
Do the drapes match the bearded pepper?
The bearded pepper. That said, is bad decor and a diseased penis.
Oh.
So I saw my own V. It was 5 lights. It wasn't like the traditional V that's like the 3 lights.
It wasn't the V from Vendetta.
No, not V from Vendetta.
That was years later.
No, none of those. What do they call those guys? The hacker group, Anonymous. Yeah, Anonymous? They wear those masks, don't they? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
they do.
They wear those masks.
The Guy Fawkes.
We'll do an episode. We'll do an episode about them sometime.
Anonymous or Guy Fawkes?
Both.
All right.
Yeah, why not?
Let's blow up Parliament.
Somehow, like, tie it in.
Guy Fawkes was a patsy.
I thought the bald girl was. I don't know. I have to go back and watch this shit again. I watched it once when it came out.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
That's decent.
Cool. Yeah. So I saw a V. It was flying northbound.
All right.
It was. I was so used to seeing satellites my entire life.
Satellite in my eyes.
Hey,
like a diamond.
Not my fault you didn't close them.
What's his name?
Dave Matthews?
Yeah, Dave Matthews. That's his name.
Yeah. He's legitimately an African.
Yes, he is.
South African.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what that matters.
You know, it's Josh Blue as well.
Blue as well?
Josh Blue?
He blew as well?
No, do you know who that is?
No.
He's a
I got hung up on the fact that he blew as well.
Oh, no. Josh Blue, he's a comedian who's born in South Africa.
Oh, yeah?
And he's white.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
They do exist.
He has an afro.
Oh, there you go. Don Henley style or Bob Ross?
Don Henley didn't have an afro.
For a while he did.
Did he?
Yeah. Nice little Jufro.
My dad had a mullet and the hair in the back, the party in the back was perm.
Oh, shit. Dude, he was styling.
Ridiculous. Really fucking ridiculous. He had that for years.
Styling. Oh, you remembered it, huh?
Years past when he shouldn't.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm hanging on to this. That's like me and the goatee. I'm hanging on to the goatee until they're popular again.
Right.
I mean, this is very 90s.
You know what you should do is you should just shave everything but your sideburns.
Yes.
Like even your head.
I can keep the sideburns.
Shave everything and just only have sideburns.
And then like a little patch on my cheek.
Yeah.
Like a teardrop.
Oh man. I wish I could grow facial hair, but I got the
You have facial hair.
I got the hair follicles of my mother. I love you, Mom.
Like she put them on your face?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she surgically inserted them into me.
There you go. I mean, it's not.
I thought I was being abducted by aliens. But
worst, I was gonna say, worst things could happen. You could be abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
We're going to put follicles, right? I don't know why they sound like that. Well, actually, I guess they would sound like your own voice, because I mean, I hear how in alien abductions that the Greys and other beings, supposedly you're talking telepathically in your head. So what do they sound like? Do they sound like your own voice talking to you?
I don't know.
That's a good question. We'll have to have somebody that's been abducted that remembers it tell us.
Let's try this.
We'll get that Travis Walton.
Everybody, wait a second. I'm going to try and telepathically talk to Adam, and he's going to tell me if it sounds like his voice or my voice.
I don't want you to touch me there.
Oh, fuck.
Not tonight.
I was going to massage your prostate.
Oh, man. Buddy check.
With my Gene Simmons tongue.
My wife was willing to buddy check one night because I was like, my butt is bleeding. I think it's hemorrhoids, but it might be something else.
Oh my God. Have you seen
there's a bump.
What is the rejected cartoons?
No.
Oh my God. And there's that little cloud thing and he's like, my anus is bleeding.
Oh no.
My anus is bleeding.
You might have
my
the
God.
roids.
Yeah.
Get prepared with Preparation H. See, we could do commercials.
We should.
I think they need to pay us.
We could drop a sponsorship in right here.
We'll do the placeholder.
Yeah, let's do a
That
placeholder.
was your idea.
Yeah, let's do a placeholder.
I mean, we literally.
Well,
could do
fuck, I can't think of a product off the top of my head.
Yeah. So basically, if you like our show, I'm getting the close up, bassy announcer voice,
And I'm getting close too because I want you to come.
Put the headphones near your butt.
Adam, do we need to have a discussion again about how sex works?
You can't impregnate her by talking in her butt.
Yeah, it's not. Take the condom off of your nose. That's not what happened.
That's what the aliens told me.
Adam, God damn it, I'm at my breaking point again!
And we're back.
Okay, Adam, I'm so sorry about that. I needed to take time out and have a little thinking stick and,
This is going to be an ongoing thing, isn't it?
I think so. I mean,
My breaking point.
I'm addicted to smokerettes.
I think I might have a breaking point where like I break one off in the toilet.
Gross.
It's like a shit break.
A shit break.
Take a big shit.
So, listeners, if you ever hear Adam reach his breaking point, we will all know he is taking a shit.
Dropping the deuce.
Yeah.
Dropping the chocolate fucking Twinkie. I had to put fucking in there because we're not cussing enough.
Yeah, fuck.
Fuck. Shit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So, tweet at us at Learning to Curse. Let us know any swear words that we should learn, that we could use.
Yeah.
You know, give us some ideas, because you're not the only ones learning here, guys. We're learning too. We're learning to curse. We're all learning to curse. If you have any, swear words that or, phrases, things like that you say that are just fucking hilarious, that are just off the wall, or if, you are, capable of touching somebody on the cheek and saying thinner, and then like months later they wither away to nothing. If you know those kind of curses too, that's great.
Just don't put them on us.
Yeah, don't curse us. Curse at us if you'd like. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Watch your mouth, boys.
I don't give a fuck.
I like that. That's the next song. We're gonna make a whole album of these eventually. The Learning the Curse remixes.
I think that's already a song.
The Learning the Curse remixes.
Oh yeah.
And we'll learn you some curses too.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, the music that you're hearing right now, this music that you're hearing, this beautiful, wonderful music that you are listening to underneath our soothing voices, our magnificent tones,
is old.
It's produced by none other than Adam and Chuck.
10 years ago.
Not that old. Some of this stuff is like 3 years old.
10 years old.
No, it's not that old. Some of it's brand new.
I don't know which one is underneath us right now. It may be me, maybe you, maybe us.
The magic of editing. All right, so let's get back into it. We're gonna finish up this episode about the Phoenix Lights.
We were gonna lie to you,
Adam. You were talking about the vagina that was going north.
Yes. So and that was it. And you'll find over the course of the show, a lot of my experiences are just that. Like I look up. I'm so used to seeing satellites since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Me and one of my neighbors, we would see them all the time.
I'm not singing the Dave Matthews song again.
No.
So we'll get sued.
Yeah. Or the Collective Soul song satellite. So, I mean, we'd be swimming in my pool, my neighbor and I as kids, and we would look up at the stars all the time. And we would see, shooting star, what they call shooting stars, and satellites all the time. So I'm used to seeing shit like that.
I'm going to interrupt you real quick. One thing I'm going to say right now, Adam, is that the beer that we're drinking today is got a lot more of an alcohol content than the beer that we were drinking last time.
Oh yeah, it's got a mountain on it.
I'm trying to see like the alcohol percentage.
Percentile.
It's not much. It's a Coors Light, but it's a lot more than the pineapple one that we had last time. But anyway, you were saying. Sorry,
it's got a mountain on it. It does. It's a pyramid.
Ooh.
The Illuminati.
And if you look right there in the center, there's an eye.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the O for Coors.
There's no I in Coors, just the light. Mm-hmm. Ooh, it's light.
I was talking about the Iron Light. Damn it.
Iron Light. That sounds like a band name. Iron Light. Like a Christian band.
The Iron Light.
The Iron Light. The ironclad Iron Light.
Yeah. They're opening for Jars of Clay.
Oh man. They're opening for Benny Hinn. He's gonna come out with his magic coat and start laying people down.
Come on my face.
Power of Jesus compels you.
I haven't had a bukkake for days.
I don't know if that's happening at his thing. Maybe after he lays them down, it's like, you will not remember this. Magic coat.
Okay. So you were talking about the flying vagina.
The flying vagina. So, and you'll find about a lot of my stories about UFOs, it's just very short. I see them, and they're gone. So they look like, at the time, it looked like a satellite.
They look like little dudes.
Little dudes flying in the sky. I'm like rolling my eyes back like a fucking old fucking Indian man.
You're rolling your eyes back in the back of your head like you just smoked some opium.
Smoking the slab. I can joke like that because I'm part Arabic and they're like neighbors to those people.
Yeah. What do you mean by those people?
Those people. Hey, that's terrible. That sounds racist.
You son of bitch.
You mother bitches. So it looked like about the size of a satellite to me, but it was 5 of them in formation.
Oh yes,
and I say 5 because, okay, it may have possibly been one structure.
Might have been 6.
It may have been 5. But I hear the rumblings, and it's not paranormal. It's just Chuck moving the mic stand.
Yeah, we're very professional here, guys.
Yes, debunked. Yep, not ghost.
Yeah,
not ghosty ghost.
That was me slapping my dick against the mic.
Yeah, mine fell out of my pants and hit the mic stand.
Fucking bearded pepper.
The bearded pepper has made his appearance.
Oh god,
his poor wife. He's got a bearded pepper.
Oh my god, there's a BB in the urethra.
Oh man.
Oh no, I'm gonna go blind.
His pants fell down.
Oh, your trouser snake is out.
And a fucking Anna pepper rolled out.
We keep going off on these tangents. We're never going to get to the end of this episode.
Holy poblano.
So you're flying vagina.
Flying vagina. In the sky. About the size of satellites from my perspective. And it was 5 of them, or it was 1 of them with 5 lights. And that's it. It just went north and got out of view. Done.
It's like that movie Space Boobs from Outer Space.
Pretty much. What if that was a whole movie? Like, a man goes out in his backyard casually. He's compelled to look up at the sky. And I sound like I'm pitching this movie. The whole movie could be the trailer.
Yeah. In a world where other worlds look like smaller worlds, like flying vaginas.
Oh man. Downsizing part 2.
Oh god. I want to see that movie.
I do. I want to see it too.
Anywho.
I probably would have seen it already. I don't know, but I just didn't get around to it.
Yeah, I got 4 children. I don't see a lot of movies.
So we both downsized. We can't afford to go to them all the time. All my money's going to Marvel, dude. This is like, they're just fucking...
I downsize when I get in a cold shower.
I downsize after being hard.
Oh. I made a penis joke.
Penile.
You're penile.
Penile County. That's near us, Maricopa County. Anyways, so let's get,
I love, you know what I love? And just to interrupt real quick, driving on the I-10 going west towards when the sign that says towards Los Angeles, you'll see a sign. It's a fantastic sign. It's a sign that says, "Surprise! Prison."
This is true. The town of Surprise has a prison.
There's a prison, and it's fantastic.
Anyway. Coincidentally, you can see a lot of UFOs in that area of town.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yes.
Where we used to live in Maryville, all the way out west. After that is UFO Central.
Out west,
where the UFOs fly. Not too bad for being sick, I guess.
No.
So the second paragraph on the wiki, we'll go back to the wiki gods.
Wiki.
There were allegedly 2 distinct events involved in the incident. They call it the incident. Kind of like the Netflix Marvel shows, referring to the Avengers.
See, the one thing that I refer to as the incident, my uncle doesn't like me talking about.
Yeah, he probably paid you not to.
He did.
Big fat stacks of pennies.
Those weren't pennies.
It was something brown.
Oh, good.
A triangular formation of lights seen to pass over the state. It totally sounds weird saying that after stopping. So I'm not going to start over them. And a series of stationary lights.
It's like you're dictating a wire in 1930s. Over the state. Stop.
Wait for them to get that.
Stop.
Hammer time. And a series of stationary lights. See, it may have been stationary what I saw too. But
yeah. Well, like I said, what I saw was stationary.
Yes.
Remember?
Paper?
The tale that I told earlier?
Yes. Stationary lights or stationary pepper.
Or
paper.
Or just
pepper.
stationary.
Goddamn peppers.
It's just stationary. It's like somebody's like office supplies.
Yes.
Way up in the fucking sky.
I thought a stationary pepper. I keep saying pepper.
You
paper?
do keep saying pepper.
There's a stationary paper too, right?
You got bearded pepper on your mind.
Yes, I got a pepper on my chin.
Nasty.
I mean, see, I keep saying pepper. I think it's an alien thing, dude. I'm blaming it on
being
aliens.
abducted.
Yes, I keep saying pepper. I mean a beard. I have a beard on my chin.
Oh God!
It's not. I promise you, it's not the cores.
It's too late.
It's because it's late in the night, and we work hard for the money. We didn't make no money from this.
She works hard for the money.
I tell my wife that all the time.
Yeah.
I work hard. When she wants me to do something after work, I'm like, I'm tired. I work hard for the money. And then I wait a moment, and I'm all so hard for the money. So, not entirely unlike some of the shit you probably say too, because we love songs.
Yes.
We like good songs, anyways. So, a triangular formation of lights seen to pass over the state, and a series of stationary lights seen in the Phoenix area. The United States Air Force later identified. Later. At first, it's like,
nothing happened. Your dog is sitting on my foot.
Yeah, he likes to poop on feet.
Hi. He likes to what now?
Poop on feet.
You better not.
I'm gonna give you a bearded pepper.
I'll tell your mom.
Oh, he's just a good boy. Come here, let mama feed you.
Your dog shits on my foot. You're gonna have a dog covered in dog shit.
Karate kick and fling it back on his face.
Yeah, it's just like flap. Anyway.
The United States Air Force later identified a second group of lights as flares dropped by A-10 Warthog aircraft that were on training. I was thinking about that sound you
When
just made.
I was a young warthog.
Aircraft that were on training exercises at the Barry Goldwater Range. The Barry Goldwater Range in southwest Arizona. Should I go to the next paragraph?
Sure.
Yes. Witnesses claim to have observed a huge V-shape.
Vagina.
The consensus is it is a vagina.
Yes.
several football field size.
It's an alien android vagina.
There you go. It's full of droids.
We've solved it, guys.
It's full
Ladies
of
and
droids.
gentlemen of the jury, we have
The big V vagina.
Yes.
And all the occupants are crabs on the board.
Yeah. I mean, you can't discredit the wiki.
Can't knock the crabs.
No.
So I like how Wikipedia says, well, witnesses claim to have observed a huge V-shaped, several football field size, coherently moving dark UFO. Stars would disappear behind the object and reappear as it passed by.
When I saw the V shape above my house, like it was backlit. Like there was moonlight, there was other light, and I could see.
So you saw structure.
I saw the outline of this black V shape structure. Yeah, it wasn't just the lights.
It was not the lights.
If
you don't believe, just look back. You can look back at moon cycles and see how luminous the sky was from the moon at that night. Producing no sound and containing 5 spherical lights. 5! Fuck! I didn't know that. Because, remember, okay, the
Adam's
footage,
mind just got blown.
Yes. Okay.
Oh my God, Adam's mind just got blown like a dick in a glory hole.
I don't know how well that will be because you don't know what mouth is chewing on the other end. So I thought I knew a lot about the Phoenix Lights, but I didn't know about the 5 lights. So, anyways, producing those. Okay, the 5 lights. Okay, yeah, the 5 spherical lights, or possibly light-emitting engines. What? I don't like how I read that. Anyways, reappear as it passed by. Okay, where did I leave off? Anyways, I'm gonna back up. Witnesses claim to have observed a huge V-shaped, several football field sized, coherently moving dark UFO. Stars would disappear behind the object and reappear as it passed by. It keeps doing these little parentheses.
Yeah.
Producing no sound and containing 5, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, spherical lights.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5th.
I have a 5th. I plead the 5th.
Yeah.
Spherical lights or possibly light-emitting engines. Fife Symington, as we talked about earlier, the governor at the Fifel.
I seen Fife Symington talk about the 5 lights.
Fifel goes west. The governor at the time was one witness. Yeah, one of many. One witness to this incident. As governor, He ridiculed the idea of alien origin, like we said earlier. But several years later, he called the lights he saw otherworldly after admitting he saw a similar UFO.
Right.
See, so I feel like there was two things. I feel like there was two things that happened.
Stop being so goddamn violent,
I am.
Adam.
I'm beating the mic stand. I'm beating it. I'm following in the footsteps of my
Stop
dog.
smacking things with your dick. Anyway.
You're going to get a bearded pepper that way.
Oh, no.
Okay,
you don't know where that mic's been.
I know. Some of these bunghole. So two things about it. I feel like there may have possibly been two events. And I say this because I feel like there was a legitimate ship that was flying around.
Yep.
And then there was the lights that were in that popular video where they're just kind of stationary, but then they would turn on and off, it seemed like, or they would just twinkle and boom, be gone.
But the thing about that too is, isn't it possible that those lights, because it does continue to go on past the Estrella Mountains,
that it could still be a ship or ships?
Well,
exactly.
that it's moving slower at that point, and when
To
you
where
see
it
the
drops
lights
behind
turn
the mountain.
off, it's because of the shape of the mountains.
Yes.
It's going behind that skyline of those mountains.
And what Chuck's talking about is there was they tried to debunk it early on. They superimposed the video of the daytime landscape at the same distance of that popular video that everybody sees when you first look up the Phoenix Lights. When they superimposed it, they see that the lights disappear as it looks like the lights are falling behind the mountain. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that they are definitely one thing or the other. It doesn't mean it's definitely a UFO or definitely...
it's definitely not flares, okay?
Or flares.
I'm going to go on record right now saying that the way that those lights are behaving is not in the manner
Like a flare.
I've seen fucking flares. It's not...
And that's what I'm saying, because it doesn't... When they try to reproduce the flares,
Yeah.
they look nothing like the original incident.
Right.
So either it was... If they were flares...
Yeah.
They did not behave anything like the
Hello,
flares.
my name
they
is
did.
If.
You know, and I have to look it up, but I think they did this test multiple times after, and no time after did it. None of the times after the main event did it look like
when they
the original
actually
light.
shot off flares and
They look
tried
like
to
flares.
recreate it. It looks like flares.
Looks like shit. Yeah,
It's
you
flares.
saw them
You can
moving
see-
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way you can't shoot off that many flares and have them all be that uniform.
Exactly.
And cohesive with each other. But again, like you were saying earlier, what you read about Fife Symington.
Yes.
About later on, going.
He became a believer.
And saying that he saw this. And what I alluded to earlier at the beginning of the episode here about a famous person who happened to be a witness, as I was, to these events. There was a pilot flying a private plane from, I believe, Los Angeles to Arizona.
Sky Harbor to drop his son off. To see his girlfriend.
Right. And
that's a great dad, right there.
Right.
I'll drop you off, son. To see your... I don't know why he's Southern, because he's not.
So his son notices these lights and points them out, and his dad is like, okay, yeah, that's a weird thing. So I'm going to call it in. He calls it in, and he's saying, what's with these lights in the sky right now? I can see this going on right now. And Sky Harbor Airport air traffic control is like, there are no scheduled flights in the area. There's nothing on our radar that we can tell you about right now that's going on. There's nothing out there. And he's like, okay, well, I'm seeing these lights right now. Okay, so he flies, he lands, he drops his son off, he takes off and goes back home.
Yes.
Years later, his wife is watching some program, just like I was talking about. Like years later, me and my wife are talking about it, and I pull up these videos and I see this information about the Phoenix Lights, and I'm like, holy shit, that is something I witnessed. Same experience for him. He's like, oh my God, because the video he's watching is talking about a private plane pilot, a citizen pilot, calling in the incident as a witness, and he's like, that was me, and this individual happens to be Ego,
the Living Planet.
The Living Planet.
Kurt fucking Russell.
Kurt Russell, Snake. Fucking
Escape from UFOs.
Yeah, exactly. It's goddamn Kurt Russell. I mean, you believe it or not, if you want to take it on face value, all we could say is that's what he says.
Kurt fucking Russell saw it.
He's got it in his logbooks on his plane, flight schedule.
Sure as shit, March 13th.
That's it.
1997.
And, you know.
Light anomalies in the sky. Now, I don't know how they actually report it, but
yeah.
I'm assuming something along the lines.
Right. So
now we have a celebrity.
If you don't believe me, God damn it, believe Kurt Russell.
Believe ego.
The man is a mensch. He's never lied to me.
He sold used cars.
Right? He escaped from LA and New York.
And had some little big trouble in Little China.
And for some goddamn reason, I had this weird Mandela effect situation.
Oh, shit.
Where I, for the longest time,
swore that it was...
No, I swore that he was in a movie called Escape from Planet Earth.
Dude, that sounds familiar. That does kind of sound familiar to me.
People, listeners, tell us in the Twitter sphere.
Does it exist?
Does that exist? Or am I crazy? Is that a Mandela effect on us? Did Kurt Russell have a third movie in the Escape From series about him escaping from Earth?
Are we going to go there with Mandela effect?
I think we might.
I think we should.
Yeah.
It's worth a peeking at. Because, I mean, I do believe in the possibility that everybody's just remembering it wrong, but there's some are really compelling.
Yeah, I mean, there's some compelling information. There's some good, you know, a good thing little nuggets to bite into and look into. But when it starts going off on these things where like parallel universes and shit like that, it's like, why is only half of the planet affected in this parallel situation?
You're right. It's a merger of timelines.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Marvel comic books did that, and I was a big fan of Marvel comics for years.
I'm a Marvel guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
more so than DC.
I kind of jumped ship on their books.
Yeah.
Not so much jump ship, but I just gave up reading them all together. But I mean, I was thinking about getting back into comic books, but going for like an indie brand or something. I loved Marvel for years since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I loved Marvel for years. Then they went into the whole Secret Wars thing again.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we're gonna merge the timelines and just keep the shit. Again, I'm making them southern. We're gonna merge the timelines and just make it.
You gotta make them like a posh British person. We're going to merge the timelines.
A faux English accent from like the New England states now. But no, they're like, they ended up keeping just like the shit that they wanted to keep as continuity, basically. It was just fucking, to me, it was half-assed done. I was like, fuck this.
I mean, I was more pissed off when Captain America was Hydra.
Yeah, that was fucking, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I mean, I've been staying on top of what storylines I've been talking about, and I'm like, shaking my head. And when they revert to simpler times, to go back to the Marvel I love, then maybe I'll go back. I mean, I'm not afraid of change. I'm a very progressive person, but they went into some batshit crazy territory. And then they're rehashing everything, making sequels of all the popular storylines, and then fucking them up. And I'm like, oh, I'm not a fan. But movies, I fucking love the movies.
Movies are great.
Movies are awesome.
Thor Ragnarok. It
Ragnarok. It ragged my rock. Yeah. Oh man, you knew we were both going for it.
We tried.
Yeah, we tried. I wouldn't say we failed, but
no. I think we succeeded in our own little way.
So yeah. But yeah, so this thing comes, it goes. I mean, we could just sum it up.
Can we?
Oh, so there's other appearances of this thing. That's
it happened like years later.
I've seen. Okay, you know what? This is funny. It says there was a reappearance in 2007.
Right.
A reappearance in 2008. Mm-hmm. And the time that I had seen my V was around there.
Yeah.
Them's was the days I saw V.
I think I was too young the first time I saw my first V.
Oh.
And it heavily influenced my my sexual preferences in the rest of my life.
Did it look like a W?
No, that would be weird. Loose meat flaps on your V, make it look like a W.
So there's the thing called the people that are into UFOs.
You got a beautiful chubby cunt.
I do. How'd you know?
I could see it.
Camel toe.
Put that thing away. Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
That's what happens to a bearded pepper.
Oh my god.
Once it becomes overly wrapped, it falls off, turns into a big chubby goont.
Oh no.
It's terrible.
All right. Well, I think are we?
Well, one more thing. It's like back to the TR3B. This Maybe
Sounds like a really nice microphone.
it's Johnny Five's brother from Short Circuit.
Yeah.
Johnny Five alive. So
Chappie.
This Chappie. I love that movie.
Yeah.
You know what? I would have to watch them both back to back.
Yeah.
Not the shitty sequel, Short Circuit, but the first one, and watch Chappie. But I think Chappie almost beats it in certain ways.
Yeah.
It's a little cheaper made, but better effects because it's newer.
Yeah.
But something about the story was just better.
I mean, I like the director
Look, we're
guy,
movie
the guy
reviewers
who
now.
did the District 9. I can't think of his name.
Oh,
right
I have
now.
District 9 here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We got to do. I mean, it's an alien movie. We should do a fucking.
Excuse me, guys, fellows. That was that beer coming back up. Made me burp. I'm sorry.
Of course. It's the Coors, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're almost done here. But yeah, okay, so that shit.
Dog, don't bump my mic stand, or I will fart in your face.
I'll shoot out a cooter footer. Cooter fart.
Yeah, you motherfucking cooter poot.
Cooter boot. I'll shoot out a cooter boot. But the TR3B, a lot of people were saying it was made. Some people were saying it wasn't made. It's fictitious, or they were trying to make it and they never finished making it. But that's the name, the name of the one that they supposedly made at Area 51.
Yeah.
Supposedly. I mean, you can look it up. You guys can get more info on it.
If you, again, any information that you guys have that will help us understand these things more, even if it's to debunk what we're talking about, or to provide us with information that
challenge.
Just
challenge us.
Yeah, just give us information. I mean, if you always tweet at us at what's the name of our podcast again?
Oh, the
Learning to Curse.
Cursings.
Was the Learning to Curse or at Learning to Curse on Twitter, and
It's
Learning to
later
Curse
tonight.
on Facebook, the Faceballs.
Faceballs.
Yeah.
FaceTime me at Faceballs.
Delicious Faceballs.
With spaghettis.
And the Instagrams. If you could take pictures of your penis and post it on Insta Facebook balls.
Or your chubby pooter.
Your chubby cooter.
I don't know why. We're gonna get some weird pictures of it. But no.
We don't want any pictures of your penis, just your testicles.
Unless you were being abducted, then you can show us
if you can
your bearded pepper.
Yeah, what you can do is you can if you're really good at Photoshop, make it look like your testicles are a UFO flying around in the Arizona sky. Let us see that shit.
Tits work too.
Tits work. A weird. Your flying V.
Anus. This is the cave. This is the back cave.
God.
But yeah, no,
the black hole.
But
black hole, son.
Won't you come? But no, realistically, I mean, not realistically. We're being damn realistic. We're a pair of realists.
We're fucking cereal all the time.
Serial killer. I killed the Lucky Charms and the
Fruity
Apple
Pebbles?
Jacks and the Cocoa Puffs.
Not the Cocoa Puffs.
Maybe next week. Maybe Kicks.
Oh, get my kicks out of killing kicks.
Oh yeah, killing the Kicks. So no, but honestly,
silly jackass, tricks are for killing.
Along with the Wheaties.
We're so stupid.
Wheaties sound like a racial term. I don't know why.
Why?
Wheaties. You damn Wheaties.
What is it a racial slur against?
We should just have it against everybody.
You goddamn
Wheaties.
Get off my lawn.
You fucking Wheaties, get out of here. You like Wheaties and you dog Wheaties?
I was taking a walk the other day and I got attacked by these fucking Wheaties.
The light colored Wheaties.
I don't know why I was Jewish right there, but
was it the light colored Wheaties or the dark colored Wheaties?
It was the
was it the gay Wheaties or the straight Wheaties? Was it the fat Wheaties or the skinny Wheaties? Was it what are the other things?
The tall Wheaties or the short Wheaties?
The tall Wheaties or the short Wheaties? Was it the bearded pepper Wheaties?
It was the bearded pepper Wheaties.
Or the healthy wiener?
God damn it.
No,
they attacked me and they stole my dog.
We love everybody the same.
No, not quite.
On a barbecue.
No, because pedophiles exist. And I don't love them at all.
I don't either.
Yeah, they can all, fall into a pit and burn.
Yeah.
Anywho,
the eternal pit.
We digress. We digest.
But yeah, so share with us your thoughts.
Yes.
On us, on the aliens. I'm kidding. Share with us your thoughts on us, the Phoenix Lights.
Uranus.
Were you there? Where were you?
My anus. His anus.
Hashtag where were you? This might be a long hashtag.
Yeah,
where were you March 13th, 1997? Not hashtagging. Hashtagging was a pound back then.
Right? Yeah.
Pound it out.
I could take a pound.
Yeah. Or two. I'm going to crawl in bed and pound my wife.
Okay, so actually, no. Let's do it this way. Instead of that, let's have it tic-tac-toe. Where were you, Phoenix Lights?
Yes.
Work?
Pound sign.
Where were you,
Pound
Phoenix
it out.
Lights?
Yeah, where were you, Phoenix Lights?
Hashtag where were you, Phoenix Lights?
Yeah.
And then you can let us know in the Twitter bot, the Twitter page.
Twitter twat.
Twitter pater.
Twitter twat.
The Twitter twat. On the Twitter
the
bitch.
twiddles. We're old.
Yeah.
We don't twit.
We don't. I don't. We do.
We do. I mean,
not much.
I shouldn't say that because nobody's going to show up. Well, they don't twit, so why should I tweet?
We got a twit, and we can tweet from it.
Tick for tat and tweet for twit.
Yes. So yeah, let us know. Tweet at Learning to Curse on the Twitter balls, and let us know.
Where were you?
Hashtag where were you, Phoenix Lights?
Yeah. Talk to us about it. Talk to us about us. Talk to us about flying vaginas.
Mm-hmm.
And
do us a favor. Tell us anything that you can think of from these last couple of episodes. You know.
This is the dirty pictures coming again. Again, Twitter.
Oh my god.
Or Instagram.
No. You
Our
don't
personal email.
Don't need to Photoshop your scrotum into anything. But let us know anything from these last couple of episodes. Anything that you can think should be a continuous, ongoing gag. That we can keep up.
Along with topics.
So far, we've got Bearded Pepper, which is fucking stupid, but it's hilarious at the same time.
Cut nipples.
Yeah. Tits upon tits upon tits upon tits.
Tits upon tits upon tits upon tits. Echo.
Pupper dog.
There'll be more.
Anything else, Adam? Do you have anything else to add about this Phoenix Lights situation?
What would you guys like us to talk about? Because we have tons of things that we're going to talk about regardless.
Yes.
If you don't like it, I mean, we understand, but we don't give a shit.
This is what I have to say about this. If you don't like it, I mean, from the deepest pit of my heart, fuck off.
Fuck her off. I was going to say fuck her off, so
fuck off.
Yeah, it's unanimous.
If you don't like it, you know what this is. This is a free podcast that you do not have to listen to. If you don't like it, fuck off. I don't care. You know what else? Your friend sitting next to you. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. The guy right there.
I actually looked.
That guy
He's
right
pointing.
there. He likes the podcast. You don't like the podcast. You don't have to listen to it.
You might just like pooter juice.
The girl next to you over there on the end there, she likes it too. You're like sandwiched in between two fans, and you're the odd man out. So fuck off.
Maybe they're just like a garnish. They're like fucking kale.
No, come back. We
love you.
We'll make you happy. Adam will give you a blowjob. No, he won't.
No.
I might. No, I won't. I'm married.
No, I'm married too. My wife. I'm all married to, and it's like, who? To who? To whom it may concern.
I'm married to the podcast.
I'm gonna be doing podcasts for the rest of my life.
So that was the end of
that was interesting.
The Phoenix Lights episode, guys. I'm glad you guys came on this journey with us. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Adam?
I believe we'll probably do a follow-up in the future because I mean we have a lot of people that would want to chime in on this.
I actually think what we're gonna do is we're gonna
scratch the surface like my nuts.
Don't.
Not on the podcast. No nut mustard.
Nut mustard. Why is it yellow?
It's off-white.
Oh, good God. So what we're planning on doing, we're gonna have a couple of we're gonna have a phone interview or two with some interesting guests,
and we'll have people in studio.
We'll have some in studio guests as well, like Eeyore here. He's not very talkative, but he rattles a lot. He flaps his big fat ears. But yeah, so this is the end of this particular discussion about the Phoenix Lights, and thank you for coming along on this journey with us. And again,
you don't know if they're coming along.
Oh, I know.
We don't know if they're aliens, and we don't know if they're coming.
There's a few of them that are ejecting BBs from their bearded pepper right now.
Shit, I'm touching myself.
Oh, I'm touching you too.
Touching me. It's touching my heart.
Oh, I love you guys. So long. Thanks for listening.